PCs? Yeah, sure.
Alright, I'll be back, chat. here. I'm back with it, chat.
There's a spot on top of the field. One of them's ghosted at least.
Putting a decoy in the ground.
There's one guy far east. Okay.
Appreciate anybody who's been here. Appreciate anybody who came through. Hope y'all enjoying y'all night.
Let's see where the sun goes before we rotate. Oh yeah, we got zone. Solid. We got buildings and most ones. I'm gonna hold one of these most ones real quick.
Most wanted contact. Disregard.
Get lit up, kid.
Cancel that.
It's got no chance.
There's a most wanted over here.
I'm gonna pop this one. Here, I said that. Unless you want to take it, you're welcome to. Sweet.
He's up here now.
Squad's in the safe zone. Gas is inbound. Enemy soldier incoming.
I got him.
Nice.
Sorry, no, I didn't even see you on the other side of the fence. I just seen you chasing someone, so I figured it was something.
There's almost one that
Guess
comes
it's the main.
He's cracked. There's one that is cracked right here.
I downed him.
Oh, nice. There's one
Nice.
down here, down below.
Keep it close. Okay.
There's one there to revive him.
Cash myself or brother.
No, I got reserve.
Yeah, you have cash myself. So you want some flights for yourself. It's by the fire, by the way. Got about 10, 12 seconds till next time.
Right here.
Gas is closing in.
Following this wall.
Somebody on the
You buy it? You got a nice one. Let's get that shit out of there.
safe.
Yes, yes. I got your money.
Squad mates are not wanted. Eliminate threat. Secure supply chain. Time in the contract.
That's a new building. Yeah, Act is in. Great building. There's only 4 teams. I say wait for them to kill each other a little bit. It's down to 2 to push.
Flanking here.
You want to scoop that building out?
There's a squad right in front of us, west.
Marking 2 safe zones.
Building's clear.
You're in the top 3. Don't let up now.
You guys still have UAVs on you? Don't put it in here. Just go
I do.
I do.
Nice. The team on the right will push towards us first, and stop it, so just be aware.
Cracked. Guy's cracked.
Squad right here.
Oh, they're on the roof.
He's down on my mark right there.
Moving this way.
Squad to the safe zone. Leave no one behind.
Oh, there's a plate box here. Fucking kidding me? Everybody come here, hit the plate box. Drop your plates here, hit this plate box so you have extras. Oh, don't know how do I drop my plates here. So you can fight here, you can have extras here.
There you go. Someone pop your UAV. Just one person. Sweet.
Wait, got it, I think.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. There's all this loot over here.
There's no buys in zone, so just wait for later.
Getting shot from, I
Wait for-
don't know, northeast, possibly.
Only 2 left. Gas is closing in.
GTs, we got another dub. These guys, that's the... Anybody got an airstrike? No. Nice shot. Finish him off.
His teammate's pushing towards us here.
Popping a UAV.
Recon flyover.
You see him. Cracked.
Nothing.
Cracked. Pushing.
Your squad mates survived. Contract complete.
Downed him. He's down.
Should be easy. It's 42. 41. GG's.
Wait to take one.
Might work.
Oh, see, he said the N-word.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He's like you bitch ass
Good
N.
shirt.
I was like, yeah.
That's crazy. I got dumped on.
Yeah, those guys, they were doing that. I was watching them.
I'm probably gonna get Commando or Survivor, I think, because I didn't die, I'm pretty sure. Let's see what we can get.
It is survival. It's really fast revives.
Oh, is that it?
Mm-hmm. And then it fast charge on your health when you're like in and about running from, you know, in action.
Commando, yeah.
I don't know how I got team objectives. I didn't touch a single contract.
Yeah, so what happened was because I had the most wanted active at all times. Every kill you got added to my bonus. So
Killing people with the objectives for this.
yeah, that's why most wanted so good. That's why we had so much money that whole game. Because as soon as I pick it up, your kills add to the bonus too. So you guys get tons of cash, and so do I.
That guy around the fence. He was running from me.
Use this time for some target practice. The real thing's coming soon. Enemy dropping into the AO.
Hey, Ak, can we back out for a sec?
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the sky.
Ak, man.
All stations, we are green to...
I'm party leader.
Sorry, just a sec. Just gotta pick something really quick. Alright, sweet, I'm good to go. Sorry about that. Again, there's this glitch where my loadouts don't like appear, and I have to go in and change my perks so they reappear.
Weird.
Hot damn.
Battle Royale.
Let's go Boneyard.
Boneyard, let's go.
Oh damn, kill shot popped out.
Oh shit.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Oh, hot dog, dude.
There's a heli here if you want to land on this.
Yes.
Just ping it up for you. You can land on that, that'll help you.
Helicopter, helicopter! Paracofer, paracofer!
Heading your way with the heli.
Yo, what up, Deathless? Let's go.
Squad mates being practiced the most wanted target. Eliminate enemies.
He's the most hated.
Get that target off their back.
Everybody wanna watch him.
Wait, someone told me that anyway, but that's very good.
I kick the love, baby.
Targets are up. We're going to take them down.
Deathless loves
This river's
Warzone
just
now.
pretty hot. But yeah, this is empty as hell.
How do I...
Just hop out, don't worry about landing.
We're landing over here. There's a helipad right here.
There's another heli somewhere. Yeah.
That's the helipad. See if you can land it on the helipad. See if you're good enough. See if I'll give you your heli CDL on my green mark.
Oh, I see. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to land it though.
Just descend.
Those don't show up. But what?
Descend. Try to descend. See if it what's descend. Like find the button for descend. Control, I think. Left control. There you go.
It's whatever slow down is.
Mission airstrike ready for task.
Yeah. It's gonna finish. We have loadout money. There we go. It's done.
Which one do I want? Okay, we're going this one.
Just the one next to you, guys. So that's good.
Perfect.
Someone else?
I landed the heli.
Nice,
I
nice.
need to
Just
go
go to the buy station. Go down and go to the buy station. Meet you there.
Whoever doesn't have a plate, make sure you put on a plate. That's the first thing you should do. You need our money? You need our money, Chase?
Enemy
Hey,
UAV
dude.
is online.
We're in UAVs, are
I'll give you $5. Good shot. Nice.
If you drop the rest of your money, I'll buy you out.
Flanking here.
You getting pushed?
Yeah, I dropped my cash for you.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. One more pushing us.
Located a score street.
I am 200 short.
Reloading.
You are one.
I'm
So
reloading.
let me buy that you ever quick.
Hostile
One more
UAV in the area.
Here, there's another box in here.
Moving this way.
Hit that, that should give you some money.
Let's buy that. Let's try to load up.
Flanking here. Target area marked. You're cleared hot.
Copy that. Longbow 3-1 is on.
Oh damn, I hit wrong one.
Hit that. No hit.
Where did your airstrike go? Where was the airstrike you found? It just reset.
Loot's not alive. Stay with loot.
Oh,
Here's 250. Yeah.
Airstrike standing by.
I think Luke's is muted.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Yeah, it was. I don't remember where it was.
I found it, it was the first airplane. I went to the second one, third.
I'm gonna have to run away from y'all. It's no fun when I don't get any kills.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'll stay away.
Chill out, Chance. God damn. How many kills you got right now? 6.
Not many. Not really.
I have 0. Blue has
Enemy
0.
UAV is online.
There's 2 plates here if anybody needs more plates. There's a decent sniper. Sniper does pretty good.
There's a
Try to
squad over
keep
here. I'm
it
gonna go
in
get myself
secondary.
killed because I just want to push.
Try to keep like an SMG and an AR. So you have 2 ARs. You're wasting the same bullets. So if you use a sniper or some machine gun, you can
Yeah.
extend your bullets. That means you won't waste
Look-
your
Yeah.
AR bullets.
Usually I do run 2 with me.
Yeah, shoot like that.
That's what I have.
Nice. Good gun right there. Better than the one you have right now. Change your secondary. It's the same gun, but this is purple.
Stim here.
Just like
Cancel that.
Fortnite. You know how it is.
That one?
Oh, he's coming. Right there. Go get him. I hear him.
Area's hot.
On the other side of the car, right there.
Good spot.
On the other side of the truck.
Let's move.
Go get him. Push him. Nice. And then this is better than your other secondary. Switch your other secondary. It's the same thing.
Your objective's simple. Eliminate all bounty targets.
There's our bounty target.
Flanking here.
It's right in the middle somewhere. Oh, we need to catch up with our squad. We gotta stay together so we can. No, we'll just walk over there.
I ran away, my bad.
It's all good. That way they won't see us going.
Oh, it's alright. I'm actively trying to die. I think I have the wrong way.
I woke up in a God damn.
Betrayal.
What up, Jojo? You playing,
Enemy dropping into the AO.
God damn.
Excuse me. I pinged the house up.
You did not see that, okay? We're going on a break. We're going on a break. Oh shit. Yeah, dude. I got somebody for you. Here you go. Kill shot. Red horizon. Here you go. He's my shield. My meat shield.
What level is Kill Shot?
He's one.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm gonna give you my gun because I'm happy to be from it. You know, take this. This is probably the best gun. Okay.
I might die, guys, but it's okay.
I'll buy you back. It's okay. Just play. Do you think?
Are you sure about that, meat?
There you go.
Are you sure about that?
Never mind.
It's the one with the gold stripies on it. It's probably the best gun you can get. Yeah. It has like
Yeah, hear me, guys.
recoil. Try this guy. Try that guy. I knocked both of them, but I didn't get the kills.
Oh shit, this guy was real. Come on, take your shit.
Man, I
grab this.
died, bro. You're standing in the door.
Dropping backwards around.
Squad mate has entered the gulag. They'll need to
A few
provide
times in
you
the
redeploy.
gulag I've won every one.
Hey, mark your stuff. There's your airstrike there. There's your stuff right there.
Squad mate redeploying to the AO.
Your loot's right there, Ches. Grab the airstrike with it.
Oh no, I let myself die now because I gave Kill my gun. I didn't realize he was gonna die too.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, I just didn't have a gun, so I just let myself die to get new loader.
Squad mate won
I
the
don't
fight.
Gulag one.
Deploying now.
Yeah. Or Killzone, go kill any. Kill shot. Killzone is your other name, or I feel like that name's so familiar. Do you know Killzone?
Request fire mission.
Okay, grab this kill shot. Those are
Enemy
perks.
heli.
Grab the perks.
Cancel that.
Keisha, make sure you grab the perks, okay? And that helps you, give you special abilities. Hold your melee and run. Your melee is, I don't know.
Real team, they just bum rushed me, bro.
Armor box here.
Alright, stay together. Go towards chest.
Damn, I didn't realize the new fucking AR
They're
was
right here,
that
right here.
good.
Chest,
The
they're here, they're here.
AK or whatever.
The
Target
AK,
area
yeah.
marked. You're
It's
clear
really
hot.
stable.
Come with me.
Target acquired. Strike inbound. Squad mates.
I got one of them.
Take revive.
I got one of them right here. Come on.
Got gas inbound.
You guys are looking
Here's his
to
buddy.
synchronize all
I got his buddy.
from the front fans all the way to the back. And you don't have a button
Hey, there's his other friend.
to switch these lights. I found the perfect thing for you. This is Signal RGB. Now this app controls all your fans from the motherboard, which it sends a signal for it to switch your fans to any color that you actually wanted. There is presetting.
What's up guys, today I'm going to show you how to change the color of your fans on your PC, and personally this is a cyber power PC, but it probably works with most PCs to be honest. What's up guys, today I'm going to show you how
Play this for your PC. Instead of using different brand software to control your RGB, use this. OpenRGB allows you to easily control RGB on your PC and peripherals. Play this for your PC. Instead of using different brand software to control your RGB, use this. OpenRGB allows you to easily control
go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Take a view of the path and touch the sky. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Take a view of the path and touch the sky. On a sunny morning, I touch the sky. Next morning, I touched your heart. What's the start? I play my role when I rip the mic apart. Do what I got to do to place a spark. I'ma put it down, seeking no crown anymore. From the moment I saw you, it's all gone. Hard to believe to a pimp like me. Used to have every woman every day of the week. Big time, I put that behind. Said I'm sorry, I got to go from the side. Lie to the man, I ain't high. To the place no human has ever even tried. So I got to go, I got to go. All I want is for you to stay. Man out of grave, resurrected. Now he's connected. No concession, just embedded by you. Take a deep breath. Let it go, follow my lead. No doubt about that. It's a happy day. I gotta tell you one thing. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Take a view of the path and touch the sky. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Take a view of the path and touch the sky. I won't deny that I used to play. Young days I done things that I can't even say. Time to make up my day. God, it's so hard to regulate till I met her yesterday. I was the dirt and you're the purifier. I'm the gasoline, wow, you're the fire. Keep it on the DL, no inquire. Which makes me wanna talk like Esquire. I don't want a partial, I want an entire. Buy any juice from gold to sapphire. Crack some jokes and turn satire. We'll be careful not to get you tin tired. Making sure that I take you higher. When we have a baby, we'll be in a child. That's what makes me most inspired. Hope seeing goes with you, baby girl.
Right here, you push. Okay, don't move, don't move. Face this way, put this arm up. Okay. Perfect.
Oh.
Right there. Yep. Sorry, just hang on, just a little bit. Good. Okay. Great. And then there. Okay, this is good. Okay, I'm gonna look at the front. Well, you can actually step out because it's not, you can slide back away because it stays. Hang on. Yep, okay.
Shoved my face into that.
Right here, you push. Okay, don't move, don't move. Face this way, put this arm up. Okay.
I've been pretty busy playing the Marathon Alpha, and I streamed just about all 80 or so hours over on Twitch. Bungie is going to be doing drops and code giveaways over there, so I thought I would establish a presence on Twitch so I can get more codes and stuff for you guys next time that's available. My primary goal with the alpha was to get through all of the narrative content that was available, as I love the world of Marathon. This meant completing all of the priority contracts, which offered the mainline story beats, and exploring the maps that we had available to us. I was honestly surprised with how much they revealed, and there are some major implications that indicate how the larger narrative may unfold, and this was all given through only half of the factions that will be available at launch. After I had gotten through everything available, I did a story review stream where I analyzed and explained the story that we got in the alpha. Now, this is obviously subject to change, but I feel like these story beats are going to stay the same, and are more so a small taste of what the beginning of the story will be at launch. I really enjoyed how the mystery of the colony is being set up, and also how New Caloric...
Yeah. I have it turned down. What?
Arc and Traxxas are being depicted. We also get quite a few subtle callbacks to ARG events and dive deeper into the anomaly and the contagion that impacted the colony. This video is an edited version of that story review stream. It is very long-winded, and I go through everything in pretty thorough detail with my own theories and observations attached to each event. I wanted to put this out there for those who want a thorough examination of everything, but I recognize that it may not be everyone's cup of tea. After the end of the alpha, I will start working on putting together a shorter video that condenses the information we received into a more digestible format. Until then, feel free to watch this behemoth of a video or check out my VOD channel if you want to see any of the full versions of the streams or some highlights. The link to my Twitch channel will also be included in the description, and without further ado, here is the entirety of the story of the Marathon Alpha. The way we're going to structure this is we're going to use Carnamir's Lore Archive. If Michael could put the link into to Carnamir's Lore Archive at some point, just so everybody has the source information if they want to go read it for themselves. Carnamir, I've been talking to him behind the scenes and giving him some clips from this so he can make sure everything is super accurate, and he's done an amazing job of keeping everything up to date. Thank you, Michael, for pinning that. Keeping all the new story stuff and all the narrative stuff that we're getting up to date on Carnamir's Lore Archive. I absolutely recommend it. It has all of the ARG stuff, all of the archive stuff from the original games, and the ARG from this year as well. So very Ace is for good to know, Ace. Very good resource. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump over to Carnamir's website. I'll just give you guys a glimpse of here. Wait here, let me make sure we're here. Okay, this is what it looks like. So just for a little reference, when you come here to look at it for yourselves, okay, you click here. Now the timeline's still in progress, but they're kind of trying to include the new dates as well for reference. And then season 0 would be the 2023 ARG. So here you can see the letters, the memoranda. I believe technically this includes the 2025 ARG stuff right now, so those aren't separated. So season 0, I guess, is everything that came prior to the alpha, but you can see all of the stuff that we got. Okay, so here's the Rage terminal, and it's laid out down here, and it even has a directory for you. All of the letters that we got from the 2023 one, the memoranda talking about Project Goliath to send the Equanimity to take back Tal Ceti. All that stuff is included in here. And then in the season 1 section is where you get to read through all of the priority contract stuff that we got inside of the alpha. Okay, so what I've done is I've gone through these, highlighted a few sections. We're going to talk pretty generally about what we're feeling, you know, prior to start, and then go through basically those priority contracts, and I'm going to give a little bit of my thoughts on that. That way it's summarized all in one place. Obviously, I've been in a unique situation where I'm able to play this game, you know, no lifestyle, and put a bunch of hours in, but I'm sure it's reasonable that a lot of you guys have missed portions or chunks or not seen little bits, although I know some of you are up to date and probably even finished the priority contracts before I did. Okay, but hopefully this can be like you know, like I said, a nice cohesive little let's see everything that we got. Okay, so before we jump into it, the stuff that we got just prior to the alpha was the launch trailer. We got the the announcement date launch trailer where we saw Glitch dying, it seems, in Dire Mars. And then we got us to the gameplay trailer and the gameplay overview trailer, which is all shots from Dire Marsh, and then obviously the excellent cinematic Alberto Mialgo put together, and the people at Bungie and a bunch of Illusorium, a bunch of people worked on that. And that gave us kind of some greater background contextual stuff that we will touch on as we go through these story beats in here. But I'm not going to go back through and explain, you know, the ARGs and all of that stuff right now. So it's going to be focused on this. If I reference to it, I will provide an explanation. And then obviously as we go, you know, I'm going to get on little rants and I'll go a little wild and start yapping like crazy for a little bit. But all of you guys have been watching along and playing and have your own thoughts. So please put them in the chat. I will try to read them as we go. And if I get a section where I'm, you know, on a roll and I'm you know, really TED talking something, we'll come back at the end of that given section and we'll kind of review any thoughts, questions, different ideas that people have had. And then that way, you know, between all of our minds, I think collectively we can put a pretty nice bow on a lot of these concepts. Seb, thank you so much. Glad you're here. We're going to start with Oni, and Oni is the representative for CyberAcme. So CyberAcme was kind of introduced as the tutorial faction that's just reintroducing us, in their words, to being a runner on Tau Ceti, because our last run we sustained some damage, which we'll read here in a second. All right, so CyberAcme didn't have a lot of narrative content inside the alpha itself, really just an introduction into how the contract system is going to work. My assumption is going to be that since they have a pretty vast upgrade component to their tree, that we will end up getting some priority contracts from them later down the line. But in this one, our primary two factions or mega corporations that we got to interact with were Nucleoric and Traxxas, but we didn't get access to them until we completed the Oni stuff, okay, or the CyberAcme stuff. Now, Oni is the AI, presumably, that we saw in the cinematic, who was talking to Glitch and Void and doing those interviews, asking about their lucky charm, their maybe I'm thinking cereal right now. Maybe that's not the exact term that they use, but asking if they recognize the photo, doing that kind of pre-evaluation before the runner was deployed to make sure their systems were operating appropriately. So Oni sets us up. All right, so let's just read these a little bit. I highlight the parts I want to talk about. We'll go through those. And like I said, generally not a ton to glean from this in terms of the story beats that they're presenting in the alpha, but some contextual information I think is interesting. Okay, so Greetings Runner is your onboard navigational intelligence. That's what Oni means, in case you missed it. If you prefer, so I guess you could call her onboard navigational intelligence, CyberAcme's dedicated AI guide. We are currently communicating through a direct neural interface. Now, this is something that I had said on stream and I wasn't entirely sure of, right? Because Oni is communicating with us while we're on Tau Ceti. When you first load in, right, you're zapped down, you're on Tau Ceti 4, you get a line from Oni. Sometimes it's, hey, you're gonna do great out there. Sometimes it's, you're rats in a cage eating the corpse of your loved ancestors. You know, some sort of crazy pseudo rampant poetry that she is spouting towards us, and she, you know, things get a little corrupted and lower AI rampancy by putting them in spider bots to assault people. So sometimes she's helpful, sometimes she's saying a little bit of off-color things, okay? But that is the voice, so when we're on the planet, we're on Tau Ceti 4 running, that's who we're hearing. And the way she's communicating with us is this direct neural interface. So it's not necessarily that she's planet side with us, but our biomata are directly linked to her, assumedly through CyberAcme systems, right? Which CyberAcme in the original games, they made the OS or the operating systems for the computers on board the Marathon, and now they're back in this reboot, remake, reimagining, whatever you want to call it. It's still kicking around and still very relevant within the computer world, arguably the Microsoft of the Marathon universe, potentially. Okay, but it is a good point here that it's not that Oni is necessarily planet side with us, but she's just communicating with us via a neural interface. And just to kind of go a little bit further with that line of thinking, these kind of rampant thoughts and expressions that we hear her muttering as we come in and out of runs seems to indicate that even though she's not directly located planet side, like assumedly her AI servers and data are stored elsewhere, even just experiencing Tau Ceti 4 through the runners seems to be impacting her thought processes, her ability to operate effectively without having these rampant moments, which we'll learn about when we're talking about the Nucleoric quest line, which introduce us to the contagion, the virus that's affecting people and AI. Okay, your shell sustained unusual durability damage during your last run. I thought this was, like I said, a bit far-flung right here, but what if this last run that Oni references in this intro was the cinematic, that prior exposure to maybe this emotional kind of connection to that music that they were listening to, indicating this kind of runner rampancy concept that I've talked about before. Obviously, we do see Glitch take quite a beating, and also it seems like they're engaging in some stuff that's a little bit outside the norm for these cybernetic mercenaries, a little emotional. Void is not pulling the trigger on her. It seems like there's something deeper to that interaction. It could be that that was potentially the last run that she did, and then Glitch had to get, I don't know, repaired, or, you know, maybe something more happened to that we have not seen yet. Congratulations, you reached the final step of your reorientation. Just further reiterating the fact that, like, listen, you've been here running for some amount of time, but there was something that went wrong, okay, and that now you had to be reoriented and taught how to run again, almost like how AI within the Strauss memo from here. Let's do this. Boop, boop, boop. We got the Strauss memo in the ARG, UESC letters right here. Given enough time, the learning system will grow in complexity beyond its original design parameters. This is how rampancy occurs. This ever-increasing complexity is expressed as aberrant behavior. Not corrected, this aberrant behavior will develop into what is commonly referred to as rampancy. All modern AI are constructed following a very specific and rigorous design methodology. Different manufacturers have different methodologies, but they were all put together with the same goal in mind, to allow for the ability to precisely predict when AI will reach its capacity for useful growth. Typically a year out from SMR, there will be recognizable cues to inform one of its approach, a digital tick, if you will, kind of like what we're seeing in ONI. Depending on the class of AI and the equipment at hand, recompiling may take anywhere from several hours from several days. This is why the members of every family suite have staggered inception dates, as it allows for single members to be taken offline and recompiled while keeping the rest of the suite functional. Okay, so this recompiling is what they do to AI to, once they start to notice behaviors that are going to lead to rampancy, they take them back down, recompile them. It's what we see Gaius kind of pseudo alluding to what he is doing to prevent those tendencies from popping up in himself later on in what we saw. Okay, we're coming down here. Oh yeah, and then I must now draw your attention to the considerable financial investment your replacement shells represent. $1 trillion. I thought that was interesting. Obviously, one of the things they were hinting at in the cinematic as well. Martinism will be the new way of life in 2890. It seems like it. And it is like that in 2025. It'll last. Rocco, how's it going? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Nori. Or Chublaka. It popped up for a second. Okay, I just thought this was an interesting comeback. Thank you. Interesting callback to what we saw in that cinematic, and obviously this kind of relationship between the mega corporations, AI, whoever's controlling this process of dishing out these shells. This is not some sort of equitable situation where each party is equal. Thank you so much, D. I appreciate you. This is a situation where the runners themselves are kind of at the mercy of the people who are housing their consciousness and whether or not they can afford wage slavery, for sure, to the masks. Thank you, Soviet. Well said. And then down here on the final one, when we've completed all the SIAC quests, well, the baseline for successful runner exfiltration is approximately 33%. I thought this was interesting because I believe they said it was 37% on Dire Marsh, right? After we got the stats back from Bungie. And then congratulations, runner. You've completed your Cyber Acme orientation and have proven yourself fully functional. 2 mega corporations have requested access to a partition of your neural interface. Okay. So one, referring to them as mega corporations does kind of plant them within the universe as being very self-aware as to what they are. Maybe the corporations on themselves, but the entities, the people within this universe understand that these are corporations that have grown beyond the scope of probably what we could imagine right now, albeit I do see a future where maybe something like Amazon might have some stake on Mars or something, so maybe not too far-fetched. Also, requested access to a partition of your neural interface. Now, once again, not a computer guy or computer professional, but when I think of partitions, I think of divisions or things that have been divided into separate parts. Okay, one of the questions that we've talked about while we're playing the alpha itself is how are we working in this idea that there's so many glitches? Like Glitch has a backstory that's given in her little runner description, which we'll go through later. She has a personality. Like each one of these characters inside of the cinematic display traits that are unique to themselves. We see certain movements and mannerisms that it's not that they're just like completely soulless entities inhabiting these synthetic forms. There is some level of differentiating factors in their personalities and how they interact and behave, right? And I think this language here is very telling because in universe, a partition of your neural interface makes it sound to me like these consciousness or your sentience or, you as you're uploaded into this digital registry is genuinely being cloned and separated for use in various different ways. So from a lore perspective, we could say that this explains the situation of multiple glitches running around in Tau Ceti. Now, why are they not recognizing each other? Why is that not something that the runners are concerned with? Maybe they are. Maybe they are, and we haven't seen that facet of it, yes. And in the cinematic, for example, we're seeing them all run into, separate iterations of each other, and they all are basically suffering a death, except for Thief and Lifeline, right? Or who we suspect is Lifeline. Mr. Forkman, glad to have you. But this would make sense if this consciousness of one individual is being separated and sold out to multiple companies. Now the bigger question becomes, who's getting the money? We're doing this for credits. We're doing this, we're mercenaries, right? But are each one of these partitioned, neural interfaces, are those each individuals with their own separate bank accounts, or is it going to some sort of root consciousness that all of these are, reset back from, or some sort of base consciousness that isn't being injected into a shell? Is there a person somewhere else? It doesn't seem that way, right? But that kind of once again opens up this larger question about runners and runners' place inside of the world of Marathon. It doesn't really seem like they have a personhood, and that's almost a facade for these AI entities to conduct their operations. Okay, and then this final line I just think is ominous in tone and also referential back to their original games. You can rely on Cyber Acme to be there wherever your journey takes you, which I think is interesting, because wherever your journey takes you, obviously we're seeing this Cyber Acme symbols all throughout the original games on all these terminals all over the place, traveling across the solar system. So I think it's relevant that Cyber Acme is almost sounding self-aware of things that the company might not necessarily be self-aware of. Okay, moving on, we're going to look at, I believe, Traxxas next. Yes, okay. So the first mega corporation, we're going to go through their priority contracts, as we got the majority of narrative stuff. Obviously, there's some in-game stuff that we'll talk about in this, and then when we go over to the game side, I'll load into those maps and try to run over to those areas. Maybe it takes a time or two if we get smacked by a good team, just so we can get a visual on those and kind of talk about what we're seeing there. All right, but for Traxxas, we meet the Traxxas agent Vulcan. Now, if you followed the 2023 ARG, this is going to be familiar to you, as Vulcan is an AI that is introduced there in the Traxxas Board of Directors chat room. So in the 2023 ARG, people hacked into the Traxxas website and were able to gain access to this secret boardroom that had the Traxxas Board of Directors and Vulcan. So that was their CEO, all their heads that were on the website, big executive level megacorp people, and Vulcan, the assistant AI, who was providing reports to them and resetting the server every day and doing stuff like that, right? So Vulcan is someone that we're familiar with in the sense that we saw them being utilized as a tool, but we didn't really get any personality, or there was no conversation from Vulcan within that chat room. And in that in those chat logs, which took place in 2888, we saw that the board of directors were basically pivoting as a company. Traxxas was pivoting as a company to take on the UESC and Tau Ceti. We had some ideas about why that was, which were later confirmed through the 2025 ARG and the stuff that we saw here, that Traxxas felt like they had a right to the Marathon project and the colony on Tau Ceti 4 because of all the work they did to make the mission successful. Integrating with MIDA is maybe something that we couldn't say for certain yet, but basically helping to draw an end to the conflict on Mars in the lead up to the launch of the Marathon itself, in addition to literally building the ship structures, and we learned much more, right, that Traxxas was kind of involved with, introducing the Traxxas off-world orbiters to replace the Christ Soul orbiters. Now, step back here. Some people want me to say Christ because the acronym is CRIST, but I don't know. I just I read it as Christ, and I think they're kind of bringing resources to Mars, like a Christ-like figure. I think that may have been the intention, so I'm going to say Christ. But the Traxxas off-world orbiters solved the resource issue on Mars in the 25th century, thus calming the waters for Mida, while, like I said, simultaneously be involved with the marathon project itself. So Traxxas, in that board of directors chat room, Traxxas is saying like, hey, we have a right to the marathon and the colony on Tau Ceti. We should go out there on behalf of our financial future, that would be most financially beneficial to us if we as a company were responsible or had a large stake to a new frontier, an entire planet of financial opportunities, basically, which is incredibly dystopian. We're talking to Vulcan now with this representative for Traxxas, and we're going to learn what they had us doing. Noodlehead, I appreciate you. Okay, so let's start with this. Attention all runners, Traxxas Off-World Industries is currently seeking candidates for resource extraction on Tau Ceti 4. Nathan, I appreciate it. Okay, so I think that the resource extraction component of it is very relevant because it represents the starting point for what we see of Traxxas inside of the alpha versus the ending point. There's a level of growth in the direction they want to take the company. And here at the beginning, they're solely focused on these financial investments and gaining resources. Very business-minded approach. And as they learn more throughout the priority contracts that we get to play through, that tone eventually shifts. Okay, and we're going to see that change as we go through these contracts. And then at the end here of this initial interaction with Vulcan, we get, please note, applicants will not be considered Traxxas employees. And I just want to point that out because we get some very cool identifiers from Traxxas, and going through those ranks will definitely be a feat of strength, I think, when the full game launches. Okay, so the first missions that they have us going through, thank you so much, Pie Boys. I appreciate you. Traxxas guard. Okay, we're called Cutthroat Competition, another kind of indicator about how they perceive the UESC as a competitor in the marketplace. Okay, first I want to read this sentence here. The Unified Earth Space Council shipping manifest you acquired indicates abundant resources remaining on Tau Ceti 4. As the UESC is our direct competitor, their interest in these resources is a threat to our bottom line. Physical retaliation between corporate and government signatories is limited by the Corporate Nonviolence Treaty. I think this Corporate Nonviolence Treaty is interesting because we're talking about specific treaties, events, moments. I think, oh man, is this going to be something that they come back to at a later point? Like, what is the, or I guess, from what conflict did the Corporate Nonviolence Treaty stem from? You know, if we're looking at a handful of situations, and we're kind of trying to intertwine a lot of the ideas from the original games into these games, Traxxas the AI going rampant on Mars related to Traxxas the company. We could see a situation where the Battleroids, right, when the asteroid governments were fighting, the Battleroids were born out of that, was Sakaguchi or Traxxas involved with the creation of those? And is that where the Corporate Nonviolence Treaty came from, that corporations are going to be compete with government entities? Although we will get some language later, it makes it seem like potentially the UESC, the Unified Earth Space Council itself, isn't viewed, at least by Traxxas, as a government as much as they are a competing corporation. Okay, and then we get assigned you are a non-corporate asset, our first little classification, which we'll get another one in the very next one. Or maybe non-corporate asset is below classification, it's fair to say. Battleroids indeed. Jake's talking weird again. Okay, so we go on. UESC presence on Tau Ceti 4 detrimental to Traxxas corporate KPIs, eliminating UESC operations to improve market conditions, just doing straight murder behind corporate jargon, which is one of the very fun things that we get throughout the Traxxas stuff. And then after we go there and we eliminate UESC operatives, refusing to say kill, murder, violence, right? For your efforts, you have been recorded in our temporary asset database and classified as compliant. Okay, so we've now gained the status of compliant. Noha, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Which, like I said, as we go through these contracts, we'll get to advance our rank within Traxxas. Okay, here at the bottom, and once we get to the end of the Cutthroat Competition, to understand the scope of opportunity, Traxxas requests that you complete a thorough survey of both colony materials and USC supply drops. Still focused on materials, assets, supply drops, literal financial and logistical elements that could increase revenue as opposed to the greater mystery of what's going on here. And then we get to go into equitable distribution. next part of the priority contracts. Traxxas has confirmed receipt of your intelligence report. So now we've given them some information, we've done things for them, but we require more information for our annual financial forecast. So now they're kind of starting to get the first hints of Traxxas picking up that maybe something is going on that's bigger here than the sum of their parts, the pure financial quest to make megacorporate bigger, right? Okay, we keep going. We shoot down some UASC transport zones, transport drones. UASC communications you intercepted indicate a desire to contain natural resources from Tau City 4. First kind of indication that they're catching on to UESC operations to handle whatever the anomaly or contagion is, and you know, also we don't have a full understanding as to what is going on the plane, you know, or at least Traxxas at least doesn't have full understanding. We will know. This is not the first time the UESC has withheld information to maintain unethical advantage. I just wanted to point out here that for Traxxas to call the UESC unethical is very, very funny when we get a evil megacorp who is conducting violence on a government. Okay, naturally the UESC will not share any of their findings willingly. To enable independent study requires samples of natural materials. Okay, so like I said, as we go on, they're slowly catching on that there's a bigger thing here occurring. They're going to start looking into it while also having us continue to conduct violence against the UESC and steal resources, right? Okay, so we hit some tads. Pie Boys, oh, thank you so much for the subscription. I appreciate it, Pie Boys. Thank you. Okay, so we hit some tabs, we got the signal towers, we activated them, did some damage. I know that was a pretty rough contract. I feel like Cry, maybe Ace, a few of us were there for a while, I feel like. Thank you for your efforts in combating UESC presence on Tau City 4. Our market analysts report that the UESC stock price has dropped 0.005%. I just think this is another great indicator of how dystopian this universe is, that all this violence is being conducted for what is, you know, very clearly small, insignificant price drops in the grand scheme of things. And then also I think as we kind of continue with Traxxas, like with a lot of like hitman stories or espionage films, you see this kind of like trivialization of violence. And there is kind of like interesting messaging within Marathon that I still have that in my thought cabinet. You know, I'm still working on kind of what maybe the larger sentiment is there, but to turn violence into something that largely has no perceived consequence, right? That your consciousness gets zapped out of you, you go to a new body or a new shell, whatever. But also kind of maybe what we're seeing within the runners themselves or some of the mental, the memory issues and stuff like that might be a consequence of the non-physical result of being involved in this kind of violence against other people or not people or people who are in not people bodies. But I think it's just relevant to point out. And then also our status in our temporary asset database was upgraded to preferred. So we've now reached the preferred class, which sounds less like a status that you would give to a mercenary working for you and more like something you would get if you flew on an airline for an extended period of time. Please recall that the UESC is not an enemy of Traxxas, but merely a competitor. Healthy competition is essential to productive economy. Just more language that I wanted to point out that Traxxas really sees themselves to be on the same exact level as the UESC, and my assumption would be that the citizenry of Seoul probably do not feel the same way. I would imagine, right, that people on Mars, MITA members, standard human lives being had on Earth, would probably look at a corporation like Traxxas and not put them on the same level or having the same goals in mind as a spacefaring government. This king has no story. Yes, and that's how we'll end the video with that, right? Love hitman espionage stuff. I know, right? A lot of this is setting up for some great stuff in that route. Okay, I want to come down here. This was a return on investment, which I believe is the second to last priority chain of contracts that we got. So we encourage ambition in its workers, search the colony for locked containers, salvage high-value items was the goal that we have. Upon completing that, we got this. Your activities plan side have a destabilizing effect on UESC operations. Their costly fixation on colony history presents a
standard model, or the iconic version from The Legend of Zelda, the Zin button ocarina has, well, buttons. I suppose if you're an absolute beginner on the instrument, this might be slightly convenient and easier to play, but in general, I just like its design. I think it has an enjoyable aesthetic, and its tactile feel is very pleasant. This is a very unique ocarina. Compared to a standard model, button ocarina has... I suppose if you're an absolute beginner on the instrument, this might be slightly convenient and easier to play, but in general, I just like its design. I think it has an enjoyable aesthetic, and its tactile feel is very pleasant. This is a very
I went to the thrift store and got this bag of stuff. Inside I found another 20 questions game. If you've never played, basically you think of a word, the game asks you 20 questions to try to guess the word that you're thinking. In my experience, it is suspiciously accurate. Let's see if it turns on. Oh yeah, it works. We got lucky. Okay, let's play around and see how it does. The word I'm thinking of is finger. Okay, here we go. Question number 1. Is it an animal? No. Vegetable? No. Mineral? No. Other? Yes. Okay. Question number 2. Can it fit in an envelope? I mean, yes. Question number 3. Do most people use this daily? Yes, of course. Question number 4. Is it round? I mean, it's cylindrical. We're going to skip, and it'll give us a different question. Does it have a hard outer shell? No. Question 5. Can it be washed? Hey, that one's easy. Yes. Question 6. Does a basketball player use it? Yes, that was easy. Question 7. Is it used by the police? Yes. Fingerprints. Okay, question 8. Does it provide protection? Ah, man, these are such... I guess you could poke someone in the eye or defend yourself. I'm just going to skip it and ask for a different version. Would you give it as a gift? Okay, that one's easy. No. Question number 9. Is it warm-blooded? Yes. It is part of a warm-blooded creature, so we're going to say yes. Question number 10. Does it contain a liquid? We're going to skip that. Yes, it has blood, but does it bring joy to people? I guess we'll just put sometimes. Question 11. Do you know any songs about it? I'm going to skip that one as well. Can it be used for recreation? Yes, I guess. Okay, question number 12. Does it need love? Easy, no. My finger does not need love. Question 13. Can you put something into it? No. Question 14. Oh, and now for the big reveal. Okay, on question 14, it's going to guess what it is. Is it a finger? Dude, that's crazy. How to get that? Yes, it is. That is creepy. All right, guys, what word should I try next? I went to the thrift store and got this bag of stuff.
Okay. And now it's started.
Oh, it started?
Yeah, it's already started. And you can see that, isn't it pretty? Get on the inside, look at what's happening as it's coming towards her.
Yeah.
What does it look like?
I mean,
Look
it looks
at
like
how
a
everything-
rainbow, knitting. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, I
you
can
want
see how much it's already. Look at that.
Yep, yeah, that's
Wow.
exactly right.
How is that amazing?
It
Almost
feels
done.
really good.
It feels
Ready for
good.
this?
Yeah, it feels really good.
We want to give you the most coverage possible to be the most comfortable.
I appreciate
Because
that.
this, and that should do it right about, almost there.
Oh my
Ready?
gosh, yes. Don't you have to cut it? So cool. It's coming off.
Hands up.
Oh my gosh, yeah, put it on. I want to see it so bad. That's so good.
To the top. This is on for the hand. And this.
Oh my gosh, yeah, put it on. I want to see it so bad. That's so good.
Why are some shields so much bigger than others?
I'm not gonna do nothing. I know. No. Wait, we can't take photos?
The more we attract photos, everyone's taking.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna attract up to take more photos.
Okay.
Closer to the fucking picture and the light.
Yeah. So what do you recommend?
We show our piece to make peace.
Should I go back or stay here? Okay. I'm not gonna do nothing. I know.
Right?
No.
Photo doesn't cost your life.
Wait, we can't take photos?
The more we attract photos, everyone's taking.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna attract up to take more photos.
Okay.
Closer to the fucking picture and the light.
Yeah. So what do you recommend?
We show our piece to make peace.
Should I go back or stay here? Okay.
Would you believe that this Japanese team completed a month-long project in just 2 days? Instead of the traditional method, they used an innovative solution called fabric formwork. First, they carefully prepared and positioned the fabric formwork on the ground. Then, they pumped pre-mixed concrete into it, making sure it settled evenly by eliminating air pockets. Afterward, they cleaned off excess water and dirt, leaving the structure to cure. In just 2 days, the project was completed, saving time, effort, and resources. This showcases the practical efficiency and innovative mindset of Japanese engineering. Would you believe that this Japanese team completed a month-long project in just 2 days? Instead of the traditional method, they used an innovative solution called fabric formwork. First, they carefully prepared and positioned the fabric formwork on the ground. Then, they pumped pre-mixed concrete into it, making sure it settled evenly by eliminating air pockets. Afterward, they cleaned off excess water and dirt, leaving the structure to cure. In just 2 days, the project was completed, saving time, effort, and resources. This showcases the practical efficiency and innovative mindset of Japanese engineering. Would you believe that this
This is the economy seat that will replace the current economy class flying nowadays. One of the best advantages of having the seats on 2 different levels is that you never have the passenger in front of you reclining and invading your personal space. Doesn't matter if you're on the upper or the lower row. One of the greatest things also about this is that you can recline more. And in this upper row, for example, we can recline backwards 125 degrees without disturbing the passenger seated below. This also allows you to sleep in a much more comfortable position. This is the economy seat